And we are live, everybody. Welcome to the NBA Strategy Show, Friday, January 9th. At least I think I'm live. Did I go live on the wrong show? Did that happen? Certainly possible. No, we're good. We're good. Actually, no, I don't know if that's true now. Time to find out. What's going on, folks? If you hear me, great. Ooh! Oh, it's on normal latency. Please tell me I could switch this. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-ohs. Well, I know that you guys can hear me. The problem in this scenario, not problem. You guys are going to be on a bigger delay than you typically are. But I'll handle that in a bit. For now, Friday, January 9th. We got a real slate today. Big old set of games. I believe there's 10. I think we got 8 on DraftKings overall. I'm trying to get this stuff up for you guys right now. So let's see if we can get there. Because if I can switch this, that would be incredibly helpful to me. Okay, step 1 complete. Let's see if step 2 gets me where I want to be. It does not. Can't switch it. All right, you guys are just going to be on a much bigger delay than I would like you to be, and I will deal with that in the future. Let's turn the screen back on and let's find out what's up. What's up, everybody? Hell of a day yesterday. I hope you guys didn't have too much of that Bulls game. It got to like 9 something, and I looked and I was just like, oh, there's no way they're playing this game. What I thought was going to be very funny was if they played it with a running clock, because that would have been a real kick in the... That would have been even worse. I'd rather have it canceled than play with a running clock, because that turns a 48-minute game into like a 38-minute game. It's going to be real hard to come back from that one. Imagine just like not having a full quarter. AD went to the locker room, albeit late. We saw so much of what yesterday was going to be. It was written in the stars. But now we're here. Big slate. Like I said, 10 games. We'll touch on whatever we can over the next hour. We've got Deeper Dive and Live Before Lock later tonight. NFL Strategy Show later today. It's a big day. It's going to be a good Friday. So I'm glad you guys are here. Let's have some fun, shall we? I don't know if you guys can see the screen right now, but if you're having fun tonight, it's going to be a lot of fun with the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are missing quite a few bodies today, including the reigning, defending, undisputed MVP of the NBA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's creating quite a bit of Aaron Wiggins today. It's creating some Jalen Williams. It's creating some Brandon Carlson. It's creating some AJ Mitchell. We're going to be getting to a lot of the Oklahoma City Thunder today. And then we're obviously going to have like 10 other situations that are an absolute mess. But let's walk through the whole slate. Let's set the table for what we have today, so that you guys all know what we're paying attention to for the rest of the day. Let me refresh this. Perfect. New injury report just hit for me 5 minutes ago. Not that they change between 8:45 and 9 o'clock, but still. All right, let's see. Coffee's ready. Good to go. It's 9 o'clock on a Friday. Nicotine's going in. If there were an old man sitting next to me, it'd be creepy as shit because I'm in my office, but that's the end of my Billy Joel for the morning. Toronto Raptors in Boston. 8.5-point favorites, 223 total. I just forgot that you guys are on a much bigger delay, so you'll get that Billy Joel quite a bit later than me. We've got a lot to pay attention to for this first game. We're obviously not going to talk too much about this right now because of what it is. Brandon Ingram questionable, Scotty Barnes questionable. If one or both of those guys are out, that will really make a difference for the Raptors. If they're both out, we're going to end up with a lot of Toronto Raptors because we're talking about 70 minutes and, half the usage. Everything changes for the Raptors if we don't have those guys. No Josh Minott for the Celtics. Otherwise, they're normal. So, clearly, the impact for Toronto will be whether or not we get those dudes. We're talking about Brandon Ingram, who plays 34 minutes a night. Scotty Barnes plays 34 minutes a night. Okay, Steven, I'll bite on that one. That spread sounds like someone's out. Toronto getting 8.5. With them in, I've got it at 9. Now, to be fair, these plus-minus models are typically way higher on the Boston Celtics and probably a little bit less so on the Raptors, but I think it's pretty close right now if they're both in. I wouldn't be surprised to see that be like 7.5 once it's official, but I don't think that swing is as crazy as it seems. I've got the Celtics at +7. I've got the Raptors at basically dead even. And once you take home court into effect, I got it at 9. So, we'll see. But, look, right thumb sprain for Brandon Ingram, right knee sprain for Scotty Barnes. We probably won't get anything here until like 5 or 6 o'clock at night, so put a pin in this. Matters a lot, clearly. Actually, let's take a peek at the contenders just for this game. So for right now, no Raptors, no Celtics. If I look at it with all these guys in, it's not a surprise which names you look at the most. Peyton Pritchard, Scotty Barnes if he plays, Jaylen Brown, Colin Murray-Boyles, quickly. That's, where my 10% optimal stops is right after quickly. Not that Derek White doesn't look fine, but just to put that out there. The 10th highest optimal rate that I have personally is 13.8. So that puts it into perspective where the rest of these guys are if we kind of want to bookmark. Like Peyton Pritchard is just outside the top 10. Scotty Barnes is just outside my top 10. No priorities in this game until we get the Toronto news. That's our first 7 o'clock game. We have 3 7 o'clocks tonight, a 7:30, an 8, and 2 9s. Then we've got 2 10s and a 10:30. Wait, is the DraftKings slate 7 or 8? Oh, it's 7. Okay. In my mind, it was 8. You guys ready for another one that is looking a little dicey? Sixers Magic. Sixers in Orlando, 226 total. Magic, underdogs by 2.5, but Joel Embiid, questionable. As of right now, it feels like he's not playing. We'll get to it in a sec. But still no Jalen Suggs for the Magic. Obviously, still no Franz Wagner. Jace Richardson, questionable. He missed the last one for Orlando. We'll see if he's back for today. But let's look at the Embiid side. Now, I don't have to tell you guys that when Joel Embiid is out, that changes things for Philly. That should be well known. I can say this much. My baseline projections are 4 raw points off on Tyrese Maxey. That's tough to do unless there's something happening to create that. As of right now, Philly's favored by 2.5. I actually have it at 2.5 with Joel Embiid in. So to me, one of two things are going to happen. Either Maxey's props are slightly too high or Joel Embiid's not playing. I don't really have a lean one way or the other. It's a 7 o'clock game, so I also don't care how it shakes out. But if we don't have Joel Embiid, things are a little bit different. Now, Embiid is your best option. You're not going to Philly with any sort of volume unless it's one of Embiid, Maxey, Edgecombe, or Paul George. So That's that. Can't really do it. Now, if Embiid is out, very different. Whether that's Dominic Barlow getting a couple extra minutes and looking better, or the thing that is really going to happen here if Joel Embiid doesn't play, Adem Bona is 3,800 and power forward center eligible. Now, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the Philly minutes as of late. Bona didn't get a ton of them now with Trendon Watford back, who will also be in the loop at this point, but they are not using Andre Drummond very regularly. He's played 2 of their last 5 games and barely. Now, Drummond will probably look a little bit better. I doubt you want to go that direction, but assuming Embiid is out, Adem Bona becomes the dude, especially because you can put him in at power forward. So that's a piece of news we're going to want to pay attention to. Obviously, the status of Joel Embiid. On the Orlando side, like, does the Jace Richardson stuff matter? Kinda. Paolo looks solid at 9,300. Wendell Carter Jr.'s fine. Anthony Black's fine. Desmond Bane's fine. No priorities coming out of this game. This is a much lower total than what we're really looking for. And at this point now, these prices for Orlando are pretty stable. So whether Jace Richardson plays or not, I'm not expecting to see a ton we love from Orlando. Now, if Embiid ends up out, this will make Orlando look incrementally better for sure. I'm just here for the FanDuel news. What FanDuel news? I'll tell you what, if you're here for FanDuel news, you're going to be here a minute. I don't have any. I don't even know what you mean. Game 3. We'll keep this train moving. Price gag on Black? I like that. If that's not a typo, that we can keep that, though. If that's where you're going with it. I like that, Steven. I really do. What are these texts? Okay. That's perfect. Okay. Getting texts from Laffy while I'm doing the show. So unprofessional. He knows what I'm doing right now. Then again, I think I gave him like 50 text messages during his NFL show 2 days ago, so paying it back. Pelicans Wizards. Holy shit, this game's going to be awful. Jose Alvarado out still for the Pels. Sadiq Bey out for the Pels. Herb Jones doubtful, so that didn't take long. And then Trey Murphy, questionable. Clearly going to matter. On the Wizards side, we still don't have a trade. Even if we do, I don't know if Trae Young's playing, so that's a different question. So no CJ McCollum, no Corey Kispert, still no Cam Whitmore. We got some shenanigans for this one that we need to talk about. Let's start here. I really like Derek Queen today at 6,200. I have not looked at the ownership yet, so I don't know if I'm on an island or this is just how the slate works. Nah, it's how the slate works. So clearly we'll get to OKC. They've got a 80% owned AJ Mitchell, a 60% owned J-Dub, 60% owned Brandon Carlson. Your highest owned non-OKC guy is Derek Queen. So this is fitting my stuff perfectly. I got him as the number 4 option of the day. I think he stands out in this matchup against Washington. Clearly, power forward center eligibility. So clear flexibility. Love Derek Queen in this spot. I read a report they may not play Young for the rest of the season. Yeah, they shouldn't. I don't know if they're going to... I think we're going to see a little bit of him, and then all of a sudden Trae Young's going to be like, owie, my everything hurts. And then he's going to go to Turks and Caicos for like 3 months. Because, like, you want your team... Like, the fans want to see Trae Young. You got to get him in the building at least a little bit to stoke the fires. But they need to lose bad. They have no wiggle room right now. I talked about it a little bit yesterday. I'll pull it up again just to like paint that picture. So the Wizards' first pick, or the Wizards' pick, is top 8 protected. Which means if they're in the top 4, worse records, doesn't matter. It ain't conveying. If they're 5th, I believe the odds are like 0.5% chance that they fall out of the top 8. Realistically, they're fine. Even 6th is like 95%. Anything after that, and you start getting into like coin flip territory of whether or not they're going to keep their pick, that is the part that they can't afford to fuck around with. So they are not going to want Trae Young to be around a lot, but I do think we'll see a very small amount of him before they shut it all down. So we'll see where that all shakes out. Also, I do think there's a non-zero chance that this trade is not through because they're still trying to figure out how to use it. Because as of this moment right now, if Atlanta's trying to do something else, they can't include CJ McCollum or Corey Kispert in an aggregated deal. Those guys can get traded individually, but like CJ McCollum, if this trade goes through, CJ McCollum essentially can't be in an Anthony Davis trade. At least an Atlanta to Dallas trade. If there's a third team involved, that can change a little bit. But if they're trying to get AD, CJ McCollum will not be a part of that deal, nor will Corey Kispert. So we'll see what Washington's what's happening and what's slowing this down right now. My guess is they're trying to find a third team to make this bigger, which you don't typically see during the season, but like realistically, like no one wants this finished yet. I can't remember if Trae is one of those guys they can't fuck around with. I can't remember what the qualifications are for like sitting in like TV game. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. The Wizards don't get fucking primetime TV games, so it's probably not going to matter at all. Because I know it's tied to like all NBA or All Stars or something, and I feel like Trae's been, I don't know. He has to be one of those people. Either way, he's not going to play much for the Wizards. But we need all that Pelicans news. That's really the problem here. Because the Pelicans, if Trey Murphy doesn't play, I already think Zion looks decent at 8K. Happy to get more of him. Otherwise, I don't really want anything from New Orleans. Now, if Murphy's out again, then that starts bringing your fears, your Jordan Poole revenge narrative alerts, your shitty ass Bryce McGowan's type situation. So we got to pay attention to this Trey Murphy news. If Trey Murphy's in, for the most part, it's Derek Queen, Zion, or Murphy, and then you just throw it all in the garbage. For Washington, I guess I didn't mention this, and I should, but we might be getting somebody back for Washington. And by might be, I mean are. Keyshawn George is back. He has missed the last 7 games for Washington. He is not on the injury report. He's just in for today. So now we're getting Keyshawn George back, which helps the fact that, CJ is not around. And I think Keyshawn George looks good at 6,100. Why he's shooting guard only, I will never know. Not his position. But he is your best option from the Wizards. If it's not him, it's Sarr at 7,300. Bob Carrington's price is up a bit. You can never trust Chris Middleton. Bilal Coulibaly seems lost without any talent on the team. But a little bit of Keyshawn George coming back against the Pels. No complaints. No complaints. How much he plays, who knows? But my guess is pretty close to normal run. So that concludes the 7 o'clock starts for today. 7:30 start, Clippers, Nets. Nets are 2.5 point dogs. Peep the total, though. 215. I assume it's the lowest one. I haven't looked. That's terrible. Oh my God, it's the lowest total by 6 points. 5 points, whatever. Awful. Awful. But the problem here is we have a ton of news. Well, maybe not a ton of news, but incredibly important news. Kawhi Leonard, questionable for today with a right ankle sprain. We shall see. What's the Clippers' schedule? Oh, they got Okay. So they got Brooklyn today on the front end of a back-to-back. At Detroit tomorrow. There's a 0% chance that Kawhi Leonard is playing this basketball game in my mind. Right? Like, Kawhi is not exactly Mr. Back-to-back to begin with. Now he's got a Q tag for a sprained ankle on the front end against Brooklyn when they play the Pistons tomorrow. To me, there's like a 0% chance Kawhi Leonard steps on the floor today. Knowing that information. Because if he plays today, he's not going to play tomorrow. I'm not stupid. He hasn't played a back-to-back, right? Like, that's just over. I haven't been paying attention. He's an odd duck, so you never know. Okay, so he did play their most recent back-to-back on the 5th and 6th. And the 28th and 29th. 28th and 29th was more limited minutes, though. Okay, I'm gonna amend my 0% and make it 5. If he's got anything, you just put him on ice. So it's Detroit tomorrow. Obviously, they're off Sunday. Do they play Monday? Okay, they do. They're back at home against the Hornets Monday. Yeah, why would he play today? The only way that Kawhi Leonard is playing today is if that Q tag is like 99% fake. And it's only there because. But if he's out, like we're clearly getting bumps to Kobe Sanders, Jordan Miller. We're going to get some value here. Harden looks better. Collins looks better. Zubats looks better. That's where we stand, at least for right now. On the Brooklyn side, MPJ is probable. Otherwise, Brooklyn's just normal. Let's get to the main event of the evening. Actually, let me touch on this one quickly just to show you guys Brooklyn and the Clippers. To me, I like two things here. James Harden, whether or not Kawhi Leonard plays at 9,100, and $6,800 Ivica Zubats. Now, this is a zoo spot in a big way to me. Because I don't think Nick Claxton's going to play full run, and then they're dead in the water. Because I like Day'Ron Sharpe. He is meaningless to Ivica Zubats. Love Harden, love Zoo. I mean, I love Harden so much. He's 7th overall today. High rank for me. No, Einsteinium. Claxton's a no, man. He's not at full strength right now. I mean, at the very least, he wasn't last time out. Oh, Steven, he was always gone. He was always gone. That's why he's playing out a shitty contract. He's in for a rude awakening in the offseason, too. All right, let's talk about the main event of the evening. Oklahoma City at Memphis. 228 total. Grizz, 4.5-point dogs. Here is the Thunder injury report as of right now. Cason Wallace out. Chet out. Hartenstein out. Jalen Williams with a Y out. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander out. Alex Caruso questionable. On the Memphis side, still no Brandon Clark, no Ja Morant. Q-tag Cedric Coward. Q-tag Vince Williams. So this game is a mess. It's going to be a mess for most of the day until the Q-tags clear. But one thing is for certain. You are playing a shit ton of the Oklahoma City Thunder today. They have 11 dudes. 3 of those dudes are Ousmane Dieng, Chris Youngblood, and Brooks Barnhizer. Those guys just don't ever play. They've got 8 guys that typically play, and Brandon Carlson's more of a break in case of emergency. Not that I think he's bad, just that there's 3 guys ahead of him. So we're looking at a starting lineup that is likely AJ Mitchell, Lou Dort, Aaron Wiggins, J-Dub, Brandon Carlson. We know that we're going to get decent minutes out of Kenrich Williams. We know that we're going to get decent minutes out of Isaiah Joe. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if Alex Caruso doesn't play. Caruso, okay, OKC doesn't play again until Sunday. They're at home. So maybe you get Caruso. And then your guess is as good as mine what they do with Ousmane Dieng, Chris Youngblood, Brooks Barnhizer. That's complete wild card stuff. So in my stuff right now, Wiggins, J-Dub, Carlson, 1, 2, 3. Mitchell comes in at 5. Subject to change for the order of those operations. In the ownership, it's all things AJ Mitchell. 82% owned at this moment. J-Dub at 60, Carlson at 55, Aaron Wiggins at 45, Isaiah Joe at 25, Kenrich Williams at 25. We're drowning in Oklahoma City ownership right now. As we should. Think about the amount of minutes, touches, whatever that aren't here. I don't know how you get away from an AJ Mitchell, given the role, given the skill set, given the fact that he's an actual good player. Clearly, J-Dub looks fantastic. It's hard to say that the $7,500 third-team All-NBA guy with the other best players of the team don't look great. A $3,500 Brandon Carlson, who's a really good per-minute dude, who performs really well when he steps in, who has Jock Landale on the opposite side. Nobody gives a shit. Aaron Wiggins has already been starting, still just 4,200. And we know that dude likes to get it up. We saw it in the playoffs last year, him just simply take over offensively. You don't see it typically because of all the good dudes on his team, but he ready to cook today. Kenrich Williams, 3,400, power forward, center eligible. Is he a great per minute guy? No. Is he a fantasy point per minute guy in this spot? Sure is. Looks great. Isaiah Joe at 3,500. You know he's going to let threes fly. Love it. If Caruso's in, 3,700 guard forward. Great flexibility. What I find pretty interesting is the 4K 4% owned Lou Dort. I don't know if that's going to stay like that. But if Lou Dort is 5% owned tonight, he's my favorite dude on the Thunder. And it's not close. In terms of like what I think can make me win. Like AJ Mitchell is the easiest thing to roster. That's clear. But a 4K Dort at no ownership on a day like today? No, that's insane. That's insane. Like I like Isaiah Joe. Is a $3,500 Isaiah Joe at 25% owned? Does that make sense if Dort's 4K and 4%? He doesn't. So I want to pay attention to that ownership. But ultimately, you're just getting all things OKC. And you guys can see it here too. Wiggins, J-Dub, Carlson, AJ Mitchell, Kenrich, Isaiah Joe, all north of 10%. By the way, it's not that I think Dort is like wrong, but it feels wrong. I'm a feels guy today. Now for Memphis, Coward questionable, Vince Williams questionable. Those two things are going to matter for everybody else. I think Cam Spencer looks the best at 6,500. You can always roll the dice on Triple J. I mean, Jock Landale's cheap enough that he's fine, but like, why? Given what we have? I don't know. I don't see it. Highest owned guy in this game for the Memphis side is Cam Spencer at 8.5. So it's all things OKC. My goal, if I have a ton of OKC, I hope I have Triple J on the other side. Anthony Hunt with the super chat. Better spend up, Maxey or Jaylen Brown? TBD, man. TBD. It depends if Embiid plays. To me, it's Jaylen Brown if Embiid plays, and it's Maxey if Embiid sits. All right, back to the injury report. Atlanta Hawks, Denver Nuggets. Denver, 1.5 point favorites, 235 total. Clearly, no Trae Young, nor CJ McCollum, or Corey Kispert. For Denver, still no Cam Johnson, still no Joe Val, still no Jokic. Spencer Jones is questionable. Everybody else is in otherwise. Jamal Murray at 10K still looks like a top 10 play for me. Only guy in this game that I think looks better, unsurprisingly, is going to be Jalen Johnson at 10-8. More optimal for me, filling up the stat sheet. Now gets to realize that it's his team. I think Dyson Daniels looks solid at 7K. I think Onyeka Okongwu looks solid at 7,100. I'm going to have a real tough time getting to anything from Denver that isn't Jamal Murray. If Spencer Jones ends up out, you can make a case a little bit more for some of these guys, but probably nothing you like. To me, it's Murray. And you can always roll dice on like Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Porzingis at 6K feels like a tough sell to me, though. But we need the Spencer Jones news. Don't really need any news on the Atlanta side. Final game on the DraftKings main. Suns, 1.5 point dogs at home, 228 total against the Knicks. Still no Josh Hart, still no Landry Shamet for the Knicks. Still no Booyah for the Suns. Jordan Goodwin available. This is like the only game of the slate that we're not paying attention to for news. Like, we're already good. I've got Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns both in my top 10. 8,600 for Brunson, 8,100 for Towns. Those guys just seem underpriced. Miles McBride's playing 30 minutes and starting now. He's 4,400. I think he looks great. And then if I'm getting to something from Phoenix, it's Devin Booker. 8,400, point guard, shooting guard eligible. Just outside my top 10. There's a clear line in the sand here. After Brunson, Towns, McBride, and Booker, we dropped 5% of optimal. Everybody else is in the same bucket after that. For the final 3 games, Kings, Warriors. No Keegan Murray for the Kings. He's going to be out like a month. Sabonis still out. Gary Payton, probable for the Warriors. Blazers, 6.5 point dogs at home, 221 total against Houston. Still no Şengün. For Portland, no Chris Murray, no Jeremy Grant. Drew Holiday, doubtful. So Drew Holiday slowly making his way back. Wonder if anybody will trade for Drew Holiday. Is it 2 years left at like 45 million? Oh, way less. All right. 35 next year, $37 million player option. Man, where could he end up? That feels like it's going to happen. Maybe I'm nuts. Which one of these teams would want Drew Holiday? I mean, the Rockets should do it, but that's a different conversation. If you're Houston, you can get Drew Holiday for nothing right now, but it's that second year. I have an idea. Let me think about this for a second. Let's go on a tangent. Is this going to work the way that I think it would? No, they wouldn't get rid of Tobias in that deal, would they? Wolves fit's not bad. I'm thinking Detroit on my first go. I mean, Houston's a thing to me for sure. How big is Paul George's cut? 51. Fuck me, that's so big. Like, I kind of like that, but they're not going to do that. No one's going to take on more money at Paul George. I don't think the T-Wolves can do it. That's more the problem for me. Like, if we say Drew to Minnesota, it's going to be it has to be Mike Conley. But then it's got to be one of DiVincenzo or Reed, realistically. Kind of like the idea of Naz Reid alongside Donovan Clingan. Can they do it without sending out Naz or Dante? No. No, there's not enough salary. Let's see. If it's Reed, how close are we? Naz Reid and Mike Conley is $74,000 off. So it would need to include one more idiot in some way. Yeah, that one I don't think is happening. And I don't even really know what that solves. Minnesota's just in a really weird spot because they don't have the salary to go out. But he should not be on Portland after February. I just don't know who's going to want to take on that extra year. If it was one more year, I think there'd be a line out the door. Otherwise, I don't see it. I can't really figure out where to be. Like, I like the idea of Miami. I don't know what they're doing to do it, though. Like, realistically, that's got to be Hero. And I don't know why anybody's doing that. Yeah, maybe he's not going anywhere. I mean, like, Orlando makes a ton of sense, but they're not going to do it either. They don't got the bodies anymore. Somebody should go get Drew Holiday. Oh, he's not going to the Kings. They would never do that to him. The Kings don't want somebody that's, like, good and makes you better. They probably think Drew Holiday sucks. Let me hit the last of these games. So we hit that Portland Houston game. Final game of the night, Bucks Lakers. This one's tricky if you're paying attention to it. LeBron James questionable, Rui Hachimura questionable. So that will matter quite a bit on the Lakers side. I'm excited for this next month of trades and shit, man. It's going to be fun. Let's take a look and see what our optimal lineup is to start the day before we dip out of here. And don't forget, hit the like button if you're here. Sign up at Stokastic. Links in the description. No reason to not sign up through one of our partners. You can get a month of The Sims for free for whichever sport you're looking for. And absolutely positively, please download Tails. Maybe you guys got us to 1,000 ratings on the Apple Store yesterday. If not, we're like 1 or 2 behind. If you haven't downloaded Tails yet, sports betting, pick'em, DFS, totally free. You can follow whoever you want. It's not going to cost you anything. If you find somebody that's giving out a lot of good information and they have a paid package, you're welcome to subscribe to them. It's not required. We are aggregating all of the information you could possibly want for betting, pick'em, and DFS. Won't get any easier to find it. Optimal lineup on DraftKings: AJ Mitchell, Keyshawn George, Aaron Wiggins, Derek Queen, Alex Sarr, Jamal Murray, J-Dub, and Brandon Carlson. 4 OKC dudes, 2 Wizards, a Nugget, and a Pelican is where we stand. And this whole day is live to change in a massive way with all of the news that we discussed over the past hour. Optimal lineup on FanDuel for right now: Jamal Murray, AJ Mitchell, James Harden, Christian Brown, J-Dub, Aaron Wiggins, Sarr, Queen, Carlson. A lot of overlap there, even with 3 more games. That's still basically the exact same lineup, which is funny to think about. Running clock in an NBA game would have been a real bummer last night for everybody involved, because then I don't think DraftKings or FanDuel would have done anything, and people would have been pissed. But that's where we're at, guys. I think we've hit everything we could possibly hit on this show today. We set the table in what I would consider to be the best possible way. We are ready to go. So let me hit you guys with what we've got for today. It's very simple. Lofty and Greg are going to be up next. They're going to get started in about 15 minutes. NFL strategy show. I will be back with DK at 5 for the deeper dive. Greg will be back with Spags for Live Before Lock. What's my opinion on what the sites should do for last night? Okay, so this is 2 different questions. What my real opinion is that they should do absolutely nothing. Everybody should fuck off. It doesn't help or hurt anybody specifically. It all comes out in the wash. Some people are going to benefit. Some people aren't. I don't really care one way or the other. I would do nothing. They have no interest in doing nothing usually in these situations, because it's essentially just a marketing expense for them. They look like they give out goodwill by free rolling everybody. So if you lose, you get your money back to your neutral. If you win, you just keep it. That's like the gold standard of answers for this one, but I would do absolutely nothing. But, depending on how much goodwill costs, you free roll everybody that lost. Wins stay, losses get made whole is like the standard answer. But I don't care at all. I wouldn't do a thing. I don't care about scratches in MMA. I don't care about this stuff, because you don't get personally affected. It's like the problem is proportional to everybody. So there are days where you're like, oh shit, I was light on the late game. I might win $100,000 today. Sometimes it's a massive benefit. It has been for me in the past. Sometimes it's not. Those days suck. I wouldn't do a thing, but it's also a business decision. Like straight refunds are a 0. That never happens. They get paid for the attempt. Yeah, FanDuel would mail you a jar with a fart in it. That's fine with me. That would be the best way to do it. Yeah, it's just never, it's never been something that I've ever cared about, because there's nothing you could do about it. It's just going to be one of those days. You're probably going to, it's probably bad, but it's fun. I think it's more fun. I took 2 goose egg. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would guess every lineup, I didn't even look. Did the winning lineup have a 0 in it? I never looked. I went out for sushi last night with the wife, so. All right, winning lineup: Ball, Mitchell, Flag, Clay, Love, Shepard. Yeah, so nobody. That's funny, man. That's so funny. I mean, there had to be some 6-0 lineup type shits. I mean, what are some legitimate actual finishes that aren't fake lineups? Yeah, that's a real lineup. that scored 16 fantasy points. Davion Mitchell, Norm Powell, Desunmu, Buzelis, Bam, Trey Jones, Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Filipowski. It got 16 fantasy points. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Oh my gosh. 16 fantasy points. So that would have been what? Filipowski? Oh, man. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's a real lineup that scored. There's fake lineups in this contest that scored more than that. Somebody probably scored more than that with a placeholder. Oh, God. Didn't play 16. Can you imagine if that's your only lineup? And you're like not paying attention, you go to do something, you open up your phone, you're like, what the fuck, man? I got 8 zeros, 7 zeros. Did the arena implode? Oh, that's incredible. All right, that's all I got, folks. That's a fun way to go out. Reminder, NFL strategy show coming up next in 13 minutes. So enjoy the rest of your Friday. I'll see you guys a little bit later. I've got prize picks coming out, which didn't go well. Lost 3 of those. Well, lost the card itself, but lost 3 of those bets for the Bulls game yesterday. I'll have my breakdown for each position posted to Twitter. Any updates we get, I'll hit tails. And then we'll see what kind of promos and stuff we have. I don't know if FanDuel's running back the 50-point joint, but I've got some data for that. And be ready for the next 2 days. Perfect lineup for NFL Saturday. Perfect lineup for